let's talk about mirror work. Yes, I said mirror work. Hey, it's John, your Mindset Moto guy here, coming to you with your daily upshift. I wanted to talk to you guys today about mirror work. Something I was talking about with some accountability partners last week. And if you think about it, all of us are really good at offering suggestions and advice to other people. It just naturally comes out of us. Probably especially guys, we're good at we're fixers. We like to fix things and address things and help things out. So, but in the same breath, a lot of us really struggle to take our own advice. We're our own worst critics, we're our own worst enemies. You hear all these different crazy statements, and it's kind of weird, but it's sort of true. We all have great advice. We can really easily see other things in other people, but when we look at ourselves, it's like we can't see the things that even other people tell us they see in us, and it's really hard for us to do that. And I got thinking about back when I was working and doing a lot of medicine stuff. There was this thing called mirror therapy, and if you had somebody that lost a limb or something like that, and they were having pain in that now non-existent limb. Sorry to get a little dark if you're there. I should have given you a little warning, but hey, here we are. So a lot of times there was a story about a guy who felt like his hand was clenched in a really tight fist and his nails were driving into his palm, and in the meantime he didn't have that arm anymore from a farm accident or something, and he hadn't had that hand in a couple of years. And somebody looked and said, you know what? And his other hand was perfectly fine and normal. And so a therapist of some kind, I don't remember who, you could look it up if you want, built a special mirror box with a mirror down the middle of the box and then two holes in it. And the one hole, there was a big enough hole to put your hand into in a fist. So what they had him do is they said, all right, I want you to take your hand that you have, your good hand, and clench it in a really, really tight fist, like super tight, so it feels like your other hand that you don't have in this imaginary, quote-unquote imaginary pain that you're having in your, former spot where your hand was. And he said, clench that real fist as hard as you can, as tight as you can, and look down into the box with the mirror and slowly insert that hand into the box. And while you're doing that, put both hands into the box mentally. Visualize yourself doing it. And so the guy looked down. When he looked into the box, the way the mirror was set up, he had two hands. And they were both clenched in a fist because it was just a reflection of his good hand that made his brain see two hands. And his brain watched. He said, now slowly, very, very slowly, open your hand. And his brain and his eyes watched and understood both of his right and left hand opening. And instantly, the pain in his missing hand went away. Instantly, it just gone. He'd had this pain relentlessly for way too long. And his brain watched him open his hand, and the reflection tricked him. And his brain said, oh, okay, my hand is open. It doesn't hurt anymore. And his phantom limb pain that he'd been struggling with disappeared in an instant. This is how our brains work. Our brains are very influent. You can easily influence your brain. And we do every day. We influence ourselves with our talk, with our self-talk, things like that. The things that we believe. We say something to another person, but we don't see there's any way possible that we could do that kind of thing because we're not, we don't have that kind of skill. But we easily see things in other folks that just work. So I want you to think something you've been telling other people and it's good for you, but you just don't believe it. And really think about that for a little bit. So with that, I'm at my destination and I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you again soon. Ciao.